We're heading into the last full week of May, and that means that Pride Month is right around the corner. Now, last year I made a video sharing some tips for attending Pride, and while a lot of that advice still holds up, the world as we know it has drastically changed in the past 12 months, and not in the direction that any of us had hoped. So today I want to update that advice. I want to speak honestly about where we are, how we stay safe, how to stay proud, and how to celebrate in a way that makes sense for you in 2025.
And on this journey, one more love unraveled. I finally learned to love me for me.
Let's get real. The world has changed a lot in the last 12 months. The political climate that we're living in right now is a lot more hostile, more volatile, and more threatening for marginalized folks, especially queer and trans folks. We're not imagining it. We know that the dangers are real. And we're feeling it in ways that impact how we show up, how we celebrate, and how we protect ourselves and our community. So today's video is all about that. It's all about celebration, but it's also about safety. It's about courage and care. It's about knowing that Pride has never been just a party. It has always been and will always be political. So let's talk about how we get through this together. Let's start by naming what we're all feeling. Yes, Pride is still a celebration, but this year, it's a lot more tense. With Trump's return to presidency, there's been a huge wave of legislation and rhetoric targeting historically marginalized communities. Trans folk, queer youth, drag performers, immigrants, BIPOC communities. And it's not subtle. People who thrive on hate feel more emboldened now, more public, and more aggressive. So it's understandable if you're feeling nervous about showing up to public places. Believe me, I feel it too. But here's the thing. Pride has always been a protest. We're not here because the world welcomed us. We're here because generations before us refused to disappear. And now it's our turn to carry that legacy in whatever way that we can. So first and foremost, remember this. Pride is still ours. It belongs to all of us, to the loud ones and the quiet ones, to the out and proud and the still figuring it out. It belongs to our trans siblings, our ace and arrow family, our bi and pan folks, our intersex community, our elders, and our youth. It belongs to those who are celebrating their first Pride and those of us who are just trying to survive it. And in 2025, with the rise of authoritarian rhetoric, hate-based legislation, and emboldened far-right extremism, Pride is more than just a rainbow backdrop. It's a reminder. We're still here. But just showing up, even just existing, can feel heavier than it used to. Look, you all know me. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. We've seen Trump return to office and bring with him an agenda rooted in fear, cruelty, and division. Anti-trans laws are gaining traction in state houses across the country. lgbtqia+ books are being banned. Drag performances are being criminalized. And just recently, I saw news that someone being detained by ICE even showed them a real ID, which, by the way, requires a birth certificate and a social security card to obtain. So when we talk about attending Pride, we can't just talk about it like it exists in a vacuum. We have to acknowledge the reality. Not to scare you, but to prepare you, to empower you, and to let you know that you're not alone in feeling overwhelmed. If you are planning to attend in-person Pride events this year, here are some essential safety tips. For one, know your location ahead of time. Look at a map. Find out where entrances and exits are. Know where first aid stations, rest areas, and bathrooms are. Know how to get back to your transportation the quickest way you can if you need to. Go with someone that you trust. There's safety in numbers, but more importantly, there's emotional security in knowing you're not alone if things get tense or overwhelming. Keep your phone fully charged. And consider carrying a portable charger. You want to be able to communicate or navigate if you need to. Carry ID and think critically. If you're undocumented or worried about ICE presence, consult trusted community groups about how best to present your identification. Bring water, sunscreen, whatever supplies you need. Especially in crowded outdoor events, your health matters. Have an emergency contact written down somewhere physical, not just in your phone. Something tangible that can be grabbed right away, not just something that needs to be unlocked, because if something happens to you, there's no one that can unlock it. And especially if you're part of another already marginalized group, make sure that you have access to local mutual aid or rapid response groups. Reach out ahead of time if you can. Know who's organizing safety and legal support in the event. And lastly, listen to your gut. If something feels off, you don't owe anyone your bravery. You owe yourself your safety. And if this year you decide that attending Pride just isn't safe or sustainable for you, that's valid. It doesn't make you any less queer. It doesn't make you any less part of this community. It makes you human. You're allowed to take care of yourself. Staying home isn't hiding. It's resisting burnout. It's preserving your peace. It's saying that I matter too. There are so many ways to honor Pride outside of attending a parade or festival. You can support queer artists and businesses. Skip the rainbow capitalism and support real lgbtqia+ creators. Buy from queer-owned shops. Follow queer designers and musicians. Amplify their work. Engage with online communities. Join a live stream. Attend a virtual Pride event. Or just share your story. Connection matters. You can also take time to learn and reflect. Remember that Pride started with a riot. Read about Marsha P. Johnson, Sylvia Rivera, Storme DeLarveray. Remember that this movement was built by trans women and gender non-conforming folks of color, by sex workers, and by people who were criminalized simply for existing. Volunteer with or donate to organizations that protect queer and trans lives. Make your own art. Write a poem. Play music. Tell your story. Educate someone. Or don't, and just rest. That's revolutionary too. It refuels you for when you're ready. Regular intervals of rest are crucial to preventing physical and mental burnout of stress. Yes, Pride is a celebration, but it started with the Stonewall riots. It was never about brand participation or rainbow drinks. It was always about fighting back. Stonewall wasn't led by corporations. It was led by Black and brown trans women who were fed up with police brutality and state violence. So if this year's Pride feels a little heavier, a little more urgent, you're not just imagining that. That tension is real, and it means that you're paying attention. We honor our elders and ancestors by remembering that Pride is a fight we're still in. Not because we want to be, but because we have to be. Now, in each video during Pride Month, I'm going to spotlight an LGBTQIA+ organization that's doing powerful, justice-centered work, especially those that aren't always in the mainstream. We talk a lot about the same organizations over and over, and I want to highlight some that you don't hear much about. This video's organization is Black and Pink. Black and Pink is a national organization that supports LGBTQIA+ people and people living with HIV and AIDS who are impacted by the prison industrial complex. They believe in abolition, in healing, and in building a world where queer and trans people, especially Black and brown folks, are no longer criminalized for who they are. From their website, quote, Black and Pink National is a prison abolitionist organization dedicated to abolishing the criminal punishment system and liberating LGBTQIA2S+ people and people living with HIV and AIDS who are affected by that system through advocacy support, and organizing. Black and Pink National, founded in 2005, now has a strong grassroots network of 11 volunteer-led chapters and more than 20,000 current and former incarcerated LGBTQIA2S+ and people living with HIV and AIDS members located across the country. Also on their website are the following important statistics. 43% of LGBTQ+ youth experiencing homelessness have been forced out of their homes due to conflicts with their families about their sexuality and or their gender. 62% of LGBTQ+ youth experiencing homelessness reported experiencing physical assault. 38% of LGBTQ+ youth experiencing homelessness reported experiencing sexual assault. 56% of LGBTQ+ youth in foster care have spent time without stable housing because they felt safer on the streets than in group or foster homes. And 85% of all LGBTQ+ youth in juvenile incarceration are BIPOC. And according to a survey they conducted with 1,118 inside members, 85% have been in solitary confinement at some point during their sentence. 65% identified as LGBTQIA2S+ prior to their incarceration. And the survey also revealed that of those inside members, they were over 6 times more likely to be sexually assaulted than the general prison population. Some of their work includes a national pen pal program that connects folks with incarcerated queer people, provides re-entry support for people coming home, and they advocate for systemic change. Their work is grounded in community, care, and dignity. Now, if you're looking for somewhere to send even just $5 this week, blackandpink.org is a great place to start. And I'll have more organizations to share each video, because liberation isn't just a concept. It's something we build together. Keep supporting each other, because together is how we show our resilience. If you're looking for ways to support my work and my channel, you can order a copy of my book, Limitless, Poetry of an Aromantic and Asexual Journey. Dive into the reflective experiences of self-discovery from my days as a confused teen, through the trials of growing pressures in college, to finally finding my place and my voice as an adult. Links are in the description of this video. You can also support me through my merch shop that can be found on my YouTube channel page. A few of the items are highlighted under this video. Support queer artists and businesses this Pride, instead of corporations looking to profit off of our existence. And lastly, if you're in the eastern Wisconsin area, you can see me in person at my author talk in Port Washington, Wisconsin on Wednesday, June 18th at 6 p.m. at the W.J. Niederkorn Library, co-sponsored by Port Washington Pride. My friends at Wordhaven Bookhouse will also be on hand, helping us with copies of Limitless available for purchase. If you missed my book signing a few months ago, this is a great chance to not just support me, but also an amazing independent bookstore and a wonderful local Pride organization at the same time. To wrap up, I want to speak directly to everyone out there who's feeling unsure. You're not alone. Whether you're attending your first Pride or your 15th, whether you're staying in or marching in the streets, whether you're out closeted, questioning, or just tired, you belong here. This community is big enough to hold all of us. The bold, the soft-spoken, the loud, the quiet, the ones still healing. We are not going anywhere. And no matter what the headlines say, we're not powerless. We have each other, we have our joy, we have our stories, we have our history, and we have our future. A future that we will keep building side by side. We are stronger together, and we always have been. So celebrate in whatever way is true to you. Be safe, be proud, and remember to be good to each other and to yourselves. I'll see you in the next one.